So today I'm going to talk to you about a book called See No Stranger by Valarie Kaur. And this book is the one book, one Boulder book that I don't know how many people, but let's just say probably several hundreds of people within Boulder County are reading this book. And the idea behind it is that all these people are having conversations about the same material. And this is brilliant for a lot of reasons. One, in terms of fostering community, people are having the same conversations about the same thing. And this establishes something called staple datum. So that means that they're all having a conversation about the same thing. Because frequently we get in conversations about things with people, different ideas or concepts, and those ideas and concepts are not in the same container. And so we show up from a bunch of different angles trying to talk about the same thing. And like we frequently do, we miss each other. But one of the reasons I'm excited about this book is because it so happens to fall in line with the Boulder JCC's bias exhibit. And so if you're someone local to Boulder County who has gone to the bias exhibit and then start thinking, well, I learned all this stuff about bias and how it works in my brain. So now what? This book is So Now What? It's basically a practical guide, or what she names it is a memoir and manifesto of revolutionary love. But it also kind of works like a workshop in a book, and it gives you practical ways of living beyond your bias. But it doesn't ignore some of the challenges of being human, dealing with anger when you're treated unjustly, managing grief, all those things. But at the same time, looking toward this ideal of radical love, which looks at other people and says, you are a part of me that I have not yet met. And I know for some people that may feel like lofty, and especially if you've been through adverse experiences like many of us have, or you come from a group that has been historically oppressed and marginalized, then of course these things will hit differently with you. But at the same time, my personal experience as someone who has been through my fair share of do is that by employing these concepts, not just from this book, but throughout my life, they have given me the opportunity to keep more of myself. A lot of times when we fight for justice, we end up losing ourselves in the process. We feel like we can't rest, like we can't have joy, like we don't even have time to grieve because the work has to be done. But that is a way of double oppressing ourselves, in my opinion. And with work like this, it helps us to understand that we are human. We have challenges, we are going through things, and we have this capacity for an extreme amount of love that adds to our lives and adds to our world. And so if you are in Boulder County, then this is an amazing opportunity. And some people probably wonder why I keep beating the drum of the Boulder JCC's bias exhibit, or the Smithsonian Bias Exhibit that is being hosted at the JCC. But over 2,000 something people, more than that, as of yesterday was over 2,000 people in our community have gone through the bias exhibit. And there's still 700 people who haven't gone yet that have registered, and every day new people going through it. That's thousands of people in this town, in this community, going through this bias exhibit, hearing about bias, learning how it functions, where it functions in our brain, how our amygdala is often running the show, and we're stuck in fight or flight about 25/7 and don't know that it's running our lives. And this is telling us this is what's happening. And now that you're aware, this is how you get out of it. This is amazing news to be able to be mindful of, right? But if we only get that information and we don't do anything with it, to borrow from the Bible, it's like a seed that falls on hard ground and it bursts open and then flames out real quick, and there's no rootedness. Having a book like this is giving you an opportunity to take that same information, but to go deeper and to bury those seeds and then allow them to be watered and cared for and nurtured, and then to flourish into a tree that bears the fruit of love and justice and peace and all the things that are possible for us in our human experience if we take advantage of it. And then top all that, the Boulder Valley Comprehensive Plan is happening right now, which is an opportunity to be practical and to navigate the things you learn through this to apply it in the community. If we have built these systems and processes that ignore many people and treat a lot of people like strangers, imagine if you learn about your biases, you go through this book, And then you're part of the Boulder Valley Comprehensive Plan, and you understand how people have been left out, how people have been marginalized, how we could create better things together. This is an opportunity to do that as well. All of these things are happening at the same time. But if we don't know they're happening at the same time and we're not engaging in these things, then what we end up with is more of the same. So the reason why I keep beating this drum is because I put everything I can into helping facilitate a world where my mom could have thrived if she had this kind of world. And so my nieces and my daughters can thrive. And that means being aware, being conscious, understanding why we make the decisions we make, and then learning how to make new decisions. None of that's possible if we're not aware of what's going on up in here. And so that's why I'm beating this drum excessively, because I can only do what I can do now. Once the bias exhibit's gone, once these events are over, once the comp plan's over, I can't do anything about that. I can do something now. You can do something now. We can do something now. And so that's why I'm doing stuff right now. And I'm encouraging you to do the same. A lot of us have this mindset that says, I'm too tired to rest. I'm tired. I'm too poor to invest in myself. All of these ways that we think that run contrary to our own social and relational benefit, because our amygdala is running the show. Our amygdala is always trying to keep us safe, which it does a good job to do that sometimes, but it also puts fears in front of us that don't need to be there. This is an opportunity to move out of the fear. In the tradition that I've been a part of for a long time, there's this teaching that says perfect love casts out fear. And so out of perfect love, a mature love, because the word really is mature love casts out fear. Out of mature love, I'm inviting us to try to do what we can to eliminate some of the fear that has been running the show in our brains, in our relationships, and manifesting systemically for way too long. Because we're not going to be able to drive out fear with fear, as Martin Luther King taught. Only love can do that. And so I'm inviting you to participate in this. One Book, One Boulder. Get this book if you can. Go to the bias exhibit if you can. If you get opportunities to participate in the Boulder Valley Comp Plan, take those opportunities and speak love and life into those things. Be fully present. And if there's any way that I can serve during this journey, let me know. I'm here. I'm time rich right now, so I'm willing to work with folks to make some things happen. I guess I'm going to sign off with that. So, peace.